Today's episode is sponsored by Eco Roofing. Eco Roofing is the premier Arizona state roofer that offers free estimates as well as the best roof warranty that will last 25 years. Make sure to check them out and check the description for more info. All right, welcome to episode 64 of The Real Deal. I am your host, Janine Igliani, with my co-host, Ryan Hatcher. And our guest today is Brandy Berry. Brandy is the general manager of 6 of Cody Gibson's Market Centers. She is an awesome human being, and I'm super excited because we get to dive into not only your background and how you got to be where you are today, but I want to talk about what makes a great agent, all things Keller Williams. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. So welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
This will be fun.
It will be fun.
So we want to hear kind of where you came from and how you got to be where you are today, because you've moved around a lot.
I have.
Arizona has not been your only home.
It is not.
Yeah.
And as you can tell from my y'all, I'm from Texas originally.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny. I was a radio DJ back in the day,
Really?
many moons ago. And so it's kind of bringing back memories right now.
Cool.
Yeah. So radio DJ to real estate.
Yes.
What kind of music was it that you were playing?
Country.
Oh.
It was in New York.
I love it.
So I
Wow.
lived in New York for a couple of years, and it was in New York. Yeah, I know. Fun fact.
That is a
That's
fun
cool.
fact.
Yeah, fun fact. So originally from Texas, and got my real estate license 2001,
Okay.
2002. And so started off as a solo agent at a little boutique brokerage, and here I am now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been fun. It's been a fun ride.
So Texas, New York.
I've lived, do you want to know where I've lived?
Yeah.
Texas, Louisiana, New York, Hawaii. That was super cool.
Wow.
Yes.
What island?
Oahu.
Wow.
hmm
Okay.
Portland, Oregon, San Diego, Arizona.
Yes.
Where did you become an agent?
When or why?
Where?
In Texas,
Okay.
Corpus Christi, South Texas.
And how long were you an agent?
About 10 years, roughly, 10 to 12 years as a solo agent before starting like the leadership journey.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit starting leadership there, but not like officially.
Mm-hmm.
And then officially started leadership in Portland, Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
and real estate in there.
And what were you doing there?
I was a success coach
Mm-hmm.
and business development.
Okay.
So growing the office,
Yeah.
And then working with the agents one-on-one to
Yeah.
move their business forward. And that's when I fell in love with leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because one of the things I think agents do, I see this,
Mhm.
is they think, I'm just going to tackle this on my own. I don't need anybody. I got this. And they miss out on so many opportunities to connect and to grow and to learn. Coaching is a big part of that.
Mhm.
And honestly, I think probably the biggest piece of it is just the accountability aspect of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, as agents, we're typically high Ds, right?
Mhm.
We like to get out there. We love people. We like to be in front of people, but it can be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you're meeting with people all the time and you're helping buyers and sellers, who do you talk to?
Yeah.
You know, who's
Yeah.
helping you? Who's helping you to achieve the goals who's helping you to set goals?
Mhm.
That's why I can't imagine going solo.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be so hard. If you started over today, would you go solo or would you be on a team?
I'd probably be on a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think teams, when they're ran well,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and they're ran to where the agent's business is the focus, right?
Yes.
How are you helping the agent? How are you helping them grow? Like, I don't think you can beat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing to beat. I mean, I was a solo agent and I
Mhm.
loved it. But my nature is to be community,
Around
be with
people.
others and to collaborate. And so, but yeah, it's interesting. But back when I started, teams weren't a thing.
Yeah.
It was like husband-wife.
Totally.
It was like a team.
Yeah.
And then now you have mega teams, expansion teams.
Or,
Totally.
father-daughter. Or...
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, my mom, I was in real
Yeah.
estate with my mom. She has been, I think since 82, she's been licensed. So I got in it and went to work with her at her little small
Yeah.
locally owned brokerage. And that's how I got into it. So it was
Well,
a little bit of family.
And what's cool about that is when you do plug in, you get the opportunity to learn from those that have gone before you.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that really helped me was having my dad kind of coach and mentor me. So it was like I didn't have to figure it out on my own and make those mistakes. I was able to just jump to that success
Yes.
of doing what works because I had someone that had done it before me.
Yes.
I think that's the benefit of the team. That's also the benefit to plugging into the office. When I look back at my career, different points in my career where I saw myself step to the next level, one of them was I was on a broker tour and it was with Amy and Garrett Lines. And Amy said to me, Janine, you know what you should do? You should really come every Wednesday to the office to the meetings that we have on Wednesdays. And I was like, I had limited time, but I'm like, I feel like I could commit to that. And I started coming and I was learning and I was hearing things and I was coming back and putting those things into practice in my business. Just plugging in helped so much. And having a market center, having an office that offers a lot, I think is what we do. It's one of the reasons we're so happy to be at the Integrity office.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah.
It's important. And I think when you're looking at what's happening at the office, we really sit down and we, with all six of our offices, market centers in KW world, that's the first question we ask ourselves is this a class that, number one, will help the agents? Will it help move their business forward? And is it something that they would want to even attend, right?
Yeah.
And then we set the training calendar accordingly. So as leadership, and just as right team leads as well, our agents are our clients, right? You have your clients, which are your buyers and sellers. They're not our clients.
Right.
They're your clients. You are our clients.
Right.
And so what are we doing on a daily basis to help you move your business forward?
It's a great perspective. I don't think I've ever heard a team leader say that.
Really?
That's true. Yeah.
Literally, if you ask the leadership team in any of the 6 market centers that we have across Phoenix, San Diego, Portland, Oregon, I say all the time, who are our clients?
That's great.
And they say the agents.
Yeah.
So, and it's true.
Yeah.
So what are we doing every day? And I think that's why I love being in leadership so much, because it's so amazing to be able to just know that we had a little bit of part in helping you in your setting your goals and
for
achieving
sure.
them.
And I think it's a constant challenge. We talk about this just this week, actually. The many classes and the events and things that you can go to as an agent, the better you get, the busier you get, and the harder it is to take away 4 hours of your production time to go sit in a class. So it has to be very valuable. And those are things that we make those judgments all the time.
Yeah, and I think too, by looking at Integrity First, we have 380 agents there, and they're not all the same. Not everybody's the same, clearly, and there's different goals, different levels of success and production and what they want to achieve. So we have to take a look at the whole and make sure that what are we bringing, what value are we bringing to each, right? Whether it's a brand new agent that's never sold a house or a mega team like that you have, what are we doing to plug in and bring value to each of those?
And so that those agents can go out and be successful. And to help them to be really, really great. I think Keller Williams does that really well, the training that we offer. I tell people that all the time when they call me or interested or looking where to hang their license. If you want to learn and you want to get really good at what you're doing, I don't think there's a better place to be than Keller Williams.
I agree. I also think that even one step further than the training and education and the collaboration is there's no lid.
Yes.
Like whenever I was with a locally owned brokerage, and it was my mom, and I loved it, and we were like a family, and I had kids whenever I was an agent and would take my kids in and put them in a pack and play, and they would watch them while I went and showed property. But I think one of the things when my mom was looking to sell the brokerage at one point, she said, she didn't say lit at the time because she didn't know the verbiage, but she said, I can't help you any more than I've already helped you, talking to all of us agents. And she said, so it's better if I let you go
Totally.
and align with somebody that can see what's coming, that
For sure.
is more ingrained in the industry than
Yeah.
she was able to be in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that. And I think that was probably the first time that light bulb came
Yeah.
on, is you don't want to be somebody's lid, right?
Yes.
You want to be able, what do we have that will allow you to continue to grow to the extent that you want to.
100%. And I'm really intentional with getting in the rooms with the right people.
Mhm.
And especially people that have gone before me are doing it bigger and better,
Yeah.
because then it pushes me, it shows me what's possible, pushes me to want to rise up to that level, right? I think we can all agree that we'll, in fact, one of the agents on my team Monday said one of the reasons she came over was because she wanted to be with a team that was doing even more than what she was doing, whereas her former team, she was the number one producer.
Yeah.
And I love that she has that like competitive edge to
Yes.
her. In fact, I was meeting with her, I didn't tell you this. So her and Ryan closed the same amount of units last year. And she said to me, but what was the volume? And I was like, oh, she wanted to
challenge,
win on that.
Ryan. I
Wait a
think
minute,
there's a challenge
I
thrown out.
I thought mine on the 23rd of December beat her. Did it not?
No, you guys both closed the same exact amount. Yeah,
yeah.
it was so funny to me. And I was like, I love that that's her little competitive edge, you know?
Well, and it helps you to be better as well,
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
I was going to say,
Because we're all
challenge accepted.
competitive. That's right. That's exactly
2025.
right.
That's awesome. So let's talk about that. In your lengthy time and kind of experience all over, right?
Mhm.
Not just here in Arizona. You've had the chance to work with a lot of agents. You also work with Cody Gibson.
I do.
Cody is awesome.
He's amazing.
His story is so powerful. It's one of the most inspiring stories I think that I've heard. I love it so much.
Did you listen to the MREA
MREA.
podcast?
Of course.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Laughter, tears,
Yeah.
like all of it, right?
Yeah.
He is definitely an amazing human, and he's actually a dear friend. So it's been a great journey with Cody over the past couple of years, because yes, we work together, and I'm lucky enough to be able to call him a friend
I love
now.
that.
So he's got a wicked sense of humor.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people
Yeah.
really realize. Very, very. But yeah, he's got a great story, and I love that he's trying to create a world big enough to not be our lid.
Mhm.
You know.
So what are some things, just if you don't mind sharing with us, that you've learned from Cody that he's kind of taught you, or maybe said, hey, these are some of our guiding principles? What would you say?
I think, oh gosh, there's actually so many. Cody is very good at making sure we're doing the right thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all know the right thing isn't always the easy thing. And so, and not that we weren't doing the right thing, that's not it, but the questions that he asks ensure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing the right way, and being kind to one another. And, as other KW offices, as an industry, right? We're all out there, regardless of the jersey you're wearing, we're all in this together. And so, and asking good questions, like Cody asks really good questions, and he makes you think.
I love
He
that.
doesn't just give you the answer. He doesn't just tell you what he thinks you should think or what he thinks you should do. He's really good at letting you figure it out by asking good questions.
I love that.
That's a true coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he is VP of coaching
Right.
for KW. Yeah.
Right. What is the vision now? With you guys have 6 market centers
We do.
in different areas. How do you make that work?
So with a great team, I mean, truly, I couldn't do what I'm doing without having a great team in place at each one of those.
Yeah.
And it's fun building that.
Is it?
It really is. Like I love to build. I'm a builder, and it's fun to find people that are great leaders and are like-minded, and I ask all the time, like, speak up, say what it is, because it will only make us better, right? If somebody has an idea, let's expand on it. Where let's poke holes in it. Whiteboarding is our favorite pastime activity. Like, we love to whiteboard because coming together allows you to take an idea and make it great.
Yeah.
So a leadership team that comes together, and that everybody knows that the agents are our clients.
Yeah.
And so what are we doing to change? So that, honestly, I mean, I know it sounds, it's nothing earth shattering by any means, but having a great team and having fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like having
culture.
fun, culture, and enjoying what you're doing every day. And not every day is unicorns and rainbows. We know that, right?
Especially in this business.
Yes. And at the end of the day, going, man, I'm enjoying the journey.
How would you define your leadership style or philosophy?
It's a really good question. I think that the way I try to lead is first and foremost from my heart. Like I truly care about every agent and their business and their lives. And I want to make sure that, so I think from the heart, and then, I have really high expectations and standards. And so I hold myself to them as well. And then also holding others to those expectations and standards. Because that's how we become great. Well, so we go from good to great.
Yeah,
right?
And we're only as strong as our weakest link, right?
Absolutely.
And so when you have a leadership team that's responsible for the agents and there's someone struggling, right? Like that affects everybody. I want to say this, I think you guys have done this really well. And I say you and just the leadership team at the office of making us as agents feel important and valuable and seen. And
there's probably not a better compliment you could give me than what you just did. So thank you.
It's true, because coming from another office and not necessarily feeling that, it does matter. And it's like, hey, someone notices and cares about us, right? Especially us as our own little thing here. I want to talk about Keller Williams as a whole. Okay. So there are a lot of brokerage options out there, right? And for a new agent who got licensed, why should they choose Keller Williams? And what would you say Keller Williams represents? Because there are so many choices out there. And one thing I'll say, in the world of all these different choices, there's like brokerages that I hear of and I'm like, I've never heard of that, you know? But Keller Williams has been around and they have a great reputation. Yes. And I love when I meet with somebody and they say, oh yeah, I used a Keller Williams agent to sell my house, somewhere else out of state or whatever. And it was a positive experience for them. So that gives me credibility. So what would you say? What is Keller Williams? Why should someone choose Keller Williams?
I mean, I think it's always speed of the leader, speed of the pack, right? And so, when you talk about Keller Williams, you can't help but talk about Gary Keller. And I think he has been, the industry leader and the visionary for our industry. And I think one of the reasons we are where we are as an industry is because of Gary, which has also helped to spin off all these other brokerages in addition to that, which is great, right? Good. That's good for them. With Keller Williams specifically, it's proven over and over and over again. And regardless of the year a book was written or whatever it is, we all know as successful agents within KW that if you follow the models, follow a system, consistency, right, you will achieve what you want to achieve. So yes, there's the training, of course, right? That's what we're known for. But it's not just for new agents. It doesn't matter what level of an agent you are or that you want to be. I said it earlier, like Keller Williams is not our lid. And they continue to grow and strive to not be an agent. So you want to expand, you want to grow a team in Austin, Texas, guess what? You can do that, and Keller Williams is the one that started that and has really paved the way for all the new, innovative, cool things that we get to experience and can do. So I think that, at the end of the day, saying like, who do you want to be and what do you want to do? One thing I will say too, when I first started with KW years ago, I went to a class called Quantum Leap. Have y'all been to
it's the best. One of my favorites.
Dick Dillingham taught it. I went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, beautiful place, by the way. And it was life-changing for me. And what I came back and what I came home saying is it really didn't even have much to do with real estate. Truly. Totally. Very little bit, if you think about that class, there's just a little bit of it that actually pertains to real estate. It's really about you and your
Yes,
life
I
and where you
totally
want
agree.
to go and who
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
and why are you here? What are you
Totally.
doing? And it really changed my way of thinking.
I agree.
And so I think that's one of the reasons why I never see myself leaving KW is because not only can we help, as leaders, the agents grow their business, but we can grow as people,
100%.
which in turn makes us all, better. So it's amazing.
I really love that because Quantum Leap was that impactful for me too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when I had this aha of like, wow, Keller Williams not only cares about me having a great real estate business, but they care about me having a great life.
Right.
So much so that they're willing to teach these life principles in a way. And now they have it for kids.
Yes.
I mean, just so amazing.
Yes.
I think that's one thing I would say with Keller Williams. Yes, I would echo everything, right? All the training, all that they offer. I think having our leader like Gary Keller, who genuinely cares about the agents individually, not just the company.
Right.
Which I think through the NAR stuff, we saw how he showed up for us in a big way and other companies didn't for their agents. And so I love that, right? If I'm going to have a leader, I want a leader that's going to represent that well. And then just all that they offer, when I made the switch from our last office to your office, I did talk to the other companies just because I wanted to have an open mind. And none of them offered me anything that I didn't already have. Yeah. And in exploring those options, they were like, well, we have this, it's so great. And I'm like, okay, but we do too.
Right.
So I think when you look at that, and then also, our cap at Keller Williams ends. Mm-hmm. Once you cap, and then the rest of the year you get 100%. How many brokerages out there continue to take 20% of what you make, right? So anyways, just some of those things I love. I love our leader. I love God Family Business. I love that model. I love that they care about the whole individual, not just their real estate practice. I just think it's amazing. And then also, again, who are you in the room with makes a big difference.
It absolutely
and getting
does.
in the room with some really awesome agents is really cool.
Yeah, it is. And then we were literally just talking about this before we started about wealth building. Mm-hmm. It's leaving legacies and generational wealth and building that and where else can you go? And you have a path for that as well.
Totally.
So it's fun. And I think that I've been very fortunate. I never would have thought I would end up leading 6 offices with 1,300 agents, when I started out as a solo agent. But I think that's just a testament to what KW has to offer.
I love that.
For sure.
All right. I want to kind of, what's the word,
pivot
a little bit. Yeah. I want to talk about what makes a great agent. Having done this for as long as you have and seen, different market centers, you've obviously had the opportunity to work with some really great agents. What makes a great agent?
Honestly, I think it's the same thing as what makes a great leader. And it's putting your client first. And to be a great agent, your client has to come first. It's not about how much money you're going to put in your pocket. It's not about, how many deals you're going to do this year or whatever, but it's more about how are you helping. When somebody buys or sells a house, you are helping them with, for most people, the biggest asset that they have and probably will ever have in their lives. That's extremely important. I mean, what we do on a daily basis is so cool, first of all. And so how are you treating that as such? Have you ever read the book Power of Moments?
No.
It's Chip and Dan Heath. They're actually going to be at family reunion.
Yeah.
So Chip and Dan Heath wrote the book, and it's called The Power of Moments. It has zero to do with real estate, but it talks about how peaks and valleys. We have peaks and valleys in everything that we do, every experience that we have, and how are you celebrating your peaks, right? And people will typically just remember the beginning, right, and the end. And so, I think being a great agent, how are you helping your clients to celebrate, right, with the peaks and help them through the lows, right? And so it's, to us, we do it on a daily basis. To them, they don't. And so making sure that an agent making sure that their clients feel taken care of
Yeah.
and appreciated.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to even what
Yeah.
you said, initially. So to me,
I love
that makes a great agent.
I love that. I had an experience last week and went in to meet with a prospective client. They told me they were interviewing other agents, and we were chatting, and she's like, yeah, it just seems like everybody's an agent, everywhere you turn, someone else is an agent. And I could just tell she did not have a good impression of realtors.
Yeah.
And at the end, they ended up not hiring me, and they said it was because they went with someone cheaper. And I'm like, at the end of the day, if you see us all the same, and you maybe kind of think we're not the greatest as an industry, then go with whoever's cheaper, right? Like, and to be honest,
you get what you pay for.
Yep.
Yes, you can always go cheaper, right? There's those $500 help you sell companies. I mean, if that's all that you're focused on, the sad part is there is such a bad rap, and there are so many agents that don't truly care about the client 100%. That it gives us a bad name. And when I've worked with somebody where I've been able to win them over and change their mind, it's like one of the greatest experiences. And then they become raving fans where they're like telling everybody and sold out. And I think it comes from putting them first in everything that you do and really looking out for their best interest.
Absolutely.
The client feels that.
For sure. I mean, I was just going to say with the volume last year, I think this stat that I read was 47% of the agents across the country didn't sell a property. Mm-hmm. So if that's their one deal,
right,
or their one of 3 deals on average, then it's you're gonna be able to tell that.
Totally.
Yeah. And I think there's such a misconception out there about, I want to get my real estate license because I want freedom.
Yeah.
I want to be able to make my own schedule. We all laugh. I want to be able to make my own schedule. I want to make all this money. And I think, quite frankly, as an industry, we do a disservice to people that are trying to get licensed. Because you can get licensed in 2 weeks now, maybe 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
We have agents all the time that come in and I say, because they're like, well, I want to go to a cheaper brokerage or whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, great. So you're licensed, right? Yeah. Congratulations. You're an entrepreneur now, right? So I just saw this house over 2 streets down that I want to buy. Can you write me a contract? Mm-hmm. Can you write it up for me and negotiate it? Mm-hmm. And deer in headlights, right? It's like, no, there's more to it than that, right? There's so much more.
I can't tell you how many times I've talked to new or people that are becoming agents, and the first thing on their mind is the split.
Yes.
Is their split. That should be the 10th thing on the list, because you have to understand what you're getting for it. Right. I mean, I would rather have 50% of 30 deals, right? Because that's what I was able to do, or 85% of 2. Right. Yeah, you got to keep more, but you have little experience now.
Yeah.
So
scarcity mindset.
For sure.
Scarcity mindset.
And it's the same with the clients, right? They were just so focused and didn't think that there was a difference in and for me, it's like, okay, that's a great reminder to make sure that I do a better job of showing my value, because we aren't all the same. And that's one thing that I'm super passionate about. And I see it all the time when I work with cross-sale agents is how they handle their client. It's like, oh, your poor client, your poor seller, your poor buyer is losing out big time because you're not that great. And so being able to hone in on your skills, which again, where Keller Williams comes back into play, having somebody that or having an office that will pour into you, that will constantly make sure you're training and learning new skills so that you can go out and do more business. And it's okay if you want to just do a few deals a year, right? Like there's always a place for that.
Of course.
And everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah. Right? And different markets, right? Like sometimes it's easier to sell a house. I would argue this is not that market.
No, it's not.
But if I'm a seller, now knowing what I know, one of the things I would want to know is how many homes have you sold?
Yeah.
If somebody sold 1 home, and it's my biggest asset, that's a risk for me to take.
It is. And honestly, they should ask one question further. They should also ask them, what kind of support do you have behind you?
Yeah.
Right? Because we were all brand new agents at one point, right? We all started at 0. However, we've all had such great support behind us that allowed us to do what we
sure.
needed to do for the best interest of the clients,
sure.
right? So it's important that they know, I mean, look at all the support you have on your team
Yeah.
to make sure that your clients have the best possible client experience ever.
Yeah.
You know, and it allows y'all to go out there and do an amazing job
Yeah.
and you know, do what's right for your clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
important.
I think when it comes to taking care of the client and protecting their interest, setting them up for success, communicating with them, those are all like so important. They really come from being good at what you do,
Yeah.
but you don't just get there
Mm-mm.
on your first deal, right? And so that's where plugging into a team, plugging into an office that can support you and help you in that can be super valuable.
Yeah.
Anybody that tries to go it alone, like good for you. I love that for you. But having a mentor that can help is going to be super huge to
Yeah.
your ultimate success. I think that's what helped me. It's what
Absolutely.
helped you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All of us.
Right.
I mean, even in leadership,
For sure.
right? Even in leadership, having Cody's my mentor.
Yeah.
And having that support, somebody to go to
Yeah.
to help me through the tough times.
Yeah. So what would you say an agent's biggest challenge is, especially in this market? What do you see are some things that agents are struggling with right now?
Consistency, discipline, those are probably, and doing the activities necessary. So I think those are the biggest struggles, themselves,
Yes. Yes.
at the end of the day. It's,
The biggest problem and the biggest solution.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's themselves.
What would you tell agents that want to elevate their business in 2025? What do they need to be focusing on?
Systems. First of all, what's the goal? So you need to create the goal, and then you need to create the plan, and then you need to stick to the plan. It's not difficult.
And it comes
Right?
down to, right, the actions, right? So that's why having a goal, but then breaking up into those actionable steps that are going to get you to the goal. It's not enough to say, I want to lose 10 pounds.
Right.
Well, how are you going to do that?
Right.
What are the things that you're going to do on
Wake
a
up tomorrow
consistent
morning, right?
basis,
No.
right? Yeah, it doesn't just happen because
Right.
you put it out there. So you got to figure out what are those things that I'm going to do and then be accountable to those.
Yes.
We were just talking about this in our team meeting. Anything that you do more than once needs to have a system around it so that you're
That's
accountable to
exactly right.
it. Right.
Yeah. So we have a tool at KW, the 411, that we use, and it's really it's just a breakdown, but it's simple and yet so easy to follow. And it just, what's your one focus, your one goal for the year? What is the one thing you want to make sure you achieve? And then you break it down monthly into, okay, this month, if I do this, I will hit my goal for the year. And then weekly, what am I doing? What are the activities that I'm doing this week that will move the needle forward? So I hit my monthly goal. And then by doing that, ultimately, it will allow me to hit my annual goal. So it just breaks it down so it's not so daunting.
Do you find most of those annual goals being production goals
So
for most agents?
yes, and we take it one step further, and I ask everybody to do personal goals as well. So that way I'm making sure I'm helping them to move their personal goals forward as well. So yeah, it's definitely production based for the most part.
I love the Jesse Itzler. We listened to him recently at an event, and he talks about, he's really big on this. I think it's called massage.
Oh,
yeah.
Japanese.
It's a Japanese
Yes.
term, and it basically means do something life-changing every year. Do some big thing.
Yeah.
And I love that. I don't know if I've defined what my 2025 is, but I need to, because it's super cool.
Yeah, that is. Do you do New Year's resolutions, or do you do a word for the year or anything like
A
that?
word, yeah.
Yeah, I do like an intention. Yeah. What's like, yeah. And then we have like a focus for the team. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your word for the year or your intention?
So my intention is kind of along the lines of like being more present, but also giving myself margin. I did a video on this that over the holidays, actually literally Christmas Day, I was very sick with the flu. And it forced me to slow down because I couldn't do anything because I didn't feel good. And in that time, plus then being the holidays and all of that, I had time to just like think,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really powerful. And it was very good for me. And I think I get so busy and like having so many things going on at once that I'm never like fully present, and I'm never able to like really be creative or just kind of come up with new ideas. So that's one thing that I'm really focused on is when I'm working, I want to be 100% focused and work. And then that way I can go home and be with my family and be 100% with my family.
I love that. John Maxwell talks about having a thinking chair. He has a thinking chair. And I was like, you just sit in your chair and think?
Yeah.
At first, but then the more I, listened and read his books and all, it makes sense because you need to have, really all he's saying is give yourself space.
Yes.
Give yourself the space in your day to think.
Yeah.
And so I now put in my calendar think time.
I love it.
And it allows me to help, right to your point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking about going deeper, right? And what is that? And what does that look like? Instead of just go. And then you can be intentional.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we all face in this world today is, do you make the time to separate yourself from the world and just think?
Yeah.
Well, there's so much, right?
There is.
Constantly, there's so much noise out there.
Yeah. Everywhere.
And there's so much pressure to do so much and to hustle and all of that it's almost like a lost art to just sit and be quiet.
Yeah, or even stand in a line somewhere
Right.
and not be on your phone.
Right?
Yeah.
I saw Mel Robbins posted that where she was like, I challenge you not to grab your phone when you have a minute of downtime,
A moment of downtime.
It's funny you say that. So my word is wellness for the year. I'm always the last to take care of myself. And so this year I really want to be intentional and I feel selfish, right? And so, so somebody told me about a grounding mat. It sounds super hippy dippy. I get it. But it's a grounding mat. I don't know if y'all have one. So I ordered one and they said, it's really good. You plug it in. It's really good for you. And it's energy basically.
Nice.
And you can do yoga on it. You can meditate on it. You can, but you can
What's
just
it made
sit
of?
there. It's actually like a neoprene material, and it looks like a front door mat, but it's really thin. I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
And
grounding's a real thing.
it is.
I do it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
On a
Almost
grounding mat?
No, on the ground
Grass.
outside.
That's where it comes
Almost every day.
from.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
it comes from. They say like your feet,
Yes.
bare feet touching the grass.
Part of my morning routine is I do my workout and then I go sit outside in the sun with my feet on the ground for about 15 minutes or so. I'm usually reading a book or something.
Yeah.
Almost
I
every
love
day.
that. That's great. So I'm trying to do better at that. So I do it in the evening. I'm not a very good sleeper, so I'm trying to see if that will help. So it was literally, I was sitting in a chair. I had my feet on it the other night, and my daughter says, "Mom, I don't think that's what the grounding mat is meant for." And literally, I was on my phone returning emails.
Yeah.
An agent called. And it dawned on me, I'm like, Brandy, take 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Take 30
Yes.
Well,
minutes.
I think they're good goals. We're trying to be productive.
Yeah.
Like when I pick up my phone, it's not because I just want to scroll aimlessly most of the time.
Right.
Sometimes, yes. It's I want to learn something.
Right.
Like I want to take advantage of the time. Like when I'm driving in the car, I hate listening to the radio.
I don't listen to radio either.
It's just become a thing where I just don't. I'm used to all the time. But now I like listen to a podcast or
Right.
something valuable that I can learn from. And sometimes even that's too much.
Yeah.
We
were talking about it the other day, and we were like, I'm listening to this book on tape, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, did you hear what we said? We just said books on tape.
Yeah.
If that doesn't date it, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
I
what is
didn't
it?
even catch it. Yeah.
Audible.
Yes, that's so funny. Yeah, I think we do though. And I'm totally guilty of this, of just trying to learn, trying to maximize my time. But there is power in stopping and slowing down and being quiet and giving your mind space to just be without constantly filling it.
Yeah.
We need to process, we need to download, and also be creative, right? With like new ideas and new inspiration.
Yeah.
Well, what didn't we ask you, Brandy, that we should have?
What's next?
What's
Yeah,
next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you see?
You know, it's a good question. And it's probably the first time in my life that I can say I'm not sure.
Oh.
Because I'm laser focused
Yeah.
and I'm a goal planner, goal setter. But I think stepping into this GM opportunity in this role and working alongside Cody, I don't know. I'm excited though.
That's
I'm really
awesome.
excited. I think we've got some great things coming to our offices and to our agents, and it'll be.
That is
Stay
awesome.
tuned.
So along those lines, if someone is thinking about maybe I want to move over to KW or maybe I want to get my license, can they reach out to you?
Oh,
And if so,
absolutely.
how should they reach out to you?
Can call me. You can text me. Do you want me to give out my phone number?
Yeah, go for it.
214-897-7354. And yes, it's a Texas number.
Yeah.
So yeah, call me, text me. I'm always available. I will return your text or call. Y'all know that.
Yeah, you do.
Or reach out to either one of you.
Yeah.
And y'all know how to get to me.
I appreciate that. That is something actually, it's like a lost art, just the
Answering the phone?
Mm.
responding.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Well, we'd love to end on a little speed round. Are you up for our rapid fire questions?
Oh my gosh, the pressure. Okay.
Okay. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite food?
Chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Okay.
Oh, and
so
gravy?
Good. Oh, do you
Okay.
wear homemade or like is there a place that you
Homemade.
I think that's the
Homemade.
first
Love it.
I've heard that one. That's
Is
good.
it?
That's good.
Yeah.
love it.
So good. Now, do I eat it? No.
go? I know, right? But I always tell my husband to get it just so I can have a bite.
Yes, I know. Yes.
You got to get it once a year at least.
You know what? I think I will. I think
Yeah,
I'll make
once a
it.
year.
Yeah, I don't know how well that goes with my wellness
I
word,
know,
but
right?
No,
Okay.
it goes well with it.
Okay, back in. Favorite drink?
Daytime, nighttime.
Okay, let's do both.
Both.
I drink water all
Do
day.
you?
Yeah, I do. But I've actually started getting into tasting tequilas. Yeah, so it's been fun.
That is fun.
Yeah.
One of my friends, when he turned 50, he had us over and had like all these tequilas, and it was insane the difference.
It is. People don't think. And
Yeah.
the first time somebody said, "Here, try this tequila," I was like, "Oh, 'cause we all have
right?
probably a tequila
Oh,
story
for sure.
from college
Yes.
or something, right?" And I was like, "Oh gosh,
Yeah.
no, I'm okay." And then
Right?
they're like, "You just didn't have good
You
tequila."
didn't. Yeah.
And yeah,
And even being able to
actually
pair it with like the right chocolate or cheese
Yes.
can really elevate too.
or fruit,
Fruit, yes.
like an orange slice,
yes.
and a reposado. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I like that question.
Okay. You mentioned a book already. Do you have a favorite book?
Gosh, there's so many,
know.
right? I mean,
How about one that's impactful recently?
recently I'm trying to think what I read a lot of business books. Honestly, I will say the book that I refer back to the most is The Power of Moments, even though it's not something that, I mean, I read it all the time, but I refer back to it. So to me, that means that
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah.
And it's because, well, what's the saying, right? People will forget what you say, but they'll never
Yes.
forget
How
the
you
way you
make
make
them
them
feel.
feel.
Yes.
And it's
Maya
very
Angelou.
important. Yeah. And so,
Well, you've mentioned that a couple times, so I've written it down. We read a
I
lot.
love that.
so,
We do.
yeah.
As a team, we're always reading
Yeah.
a book. So
Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
great.
And individually, we read a lot.
Oh, yeah.
tell me what you think about it.
I
Okay.
will.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite podcast?
Yours.
Yeah. No,
Duh.
besides ours.
I like the MREA
Yes, I do too.
podcast. It's really good.
Isn't
Jason
it?
Abrams
Yeah.
does amazing.
He does.
What else? Sometimes I'll listen to some fiction podcasts, like just to do something different besides business
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, just anything.
Yeah.
Let's listen to what's happening here. Let's
Yeah.
listen to what's happening
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
pick up a
Okay.
few things here and there.
Last question. Do you have a favorite vacation? I know you just went somewhere kind of cool.
Italy. I went to Italy last year.
What was the best food you had there, by the way?
We made pasta. We went to a
Like
pasta
real
making
pasta?
I love
class.
that.
Yeah.
And it's actually not as hard as you think it is. It was flour, egg, and water.
Yeah.
I
And
think
that's
that was
it.
Yeah. And it was delicious,
Mm.
like the homemade pasta. So I am somebody that, like, we moved around a lot, and I had young kids when we did that, and which can cause some, issues because they make friends and then you have to move.
Yes.
But one of the things that I would always teach the kids is be present where you are and like there's something good everywhere,
Yeah.
and find it.
I love that.
And so when you say, do you have a favorite vacation spot? I always try to find, like, people ask me all the time, where's your favorite place that you've lived?
Yeah.
And I mean, Hawaii is amazing,
Yeah.
right? Absolutely. And I can name so many reasons. But Portland, Oregon, even though it rains all the time, it's beautiful. And, you know,
The
there's
desert is beautiful.
and then in Arizona, literally, I was kind of hesitant to move
Yeah.
here. I was like, the desert,
Right.
We'll never leave. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it here. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know. We're going to Greece this year. So
Nice.
yeah, we try to go one
Big
big
one. Yeah.
vacation
I love
somewhere
that.
we haven't been
That'd be
to
cool.
experience the culture and the people. I like to kind of go off the beaten path
Yeah.
and talk to the locals. And
Those
so,
are two good, cool countries to visit.
yeah, we've been very blessed to
That was
be able to
awesome.
go.
Well, thanks, Brandy.
Yeah,
Thanks
for
for
sure.
sharing with us. And I think our listeners, hopefully they got some tidbits that they can go
I
and
hope
go
so.
be awesome at what they do. And if they want to reach out to you, hopefully they do too.
Perfect. And thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.